Jamie, this is Kurt House. It's in Warsaw in Poland, and it is the world's slimmest property. Now, it stretches over 30 feet tall, and at its widest point, it is 4 feet wide, but only 28 inches at its narrowest point. Total floor space is 46 square feet.
Well, let's have a
Cast your expert eye on this.
little look. Wow, it's a really interesting property. Funnily enough, I have had experience selling a home, which was also like a really narrow property. It was a cottage where, at its narrowest point, I couldn't even put my arms out across to touch either side.
So that can't be too dissimilar to this.
I reckon it. At its narrowest point, I don't reckon that there's much in it, to be honest. And but what we found with selling that property, it was because it was such a unique design that no one had seen before.
Yeah.
People really, really liked it. Obviously, it's not the most practical in the world, but because it was so different, people tend to, find it really interesting.
So does that more than one? Because this is one bedroom, and it's spaced over, I think, 3 or 4 floors. I think this is 3 floors.
Yeah.
But you've got to use ladders because it's so narrow. There's not a conventional staircase.
Yeah.
Was yours more like the hourglass house? Is it more of a conventional house in terms of layout?
It was, because it was like that hourglass shape in terms of at the front it just looked like a small cottage.
Yeah.
Went very narrow and went wider again. So things like the staircase and for example, like where you'd have the bed in the bedroom, they were at the narrowest points. So the widest points rather. So the really narrow bits weren't really used for anything other than a walkway. So yeah, very different design than this one. No ladders, that's for sure. So
do you think, Jamie, this is the future of real estate? Because obviously cities are growing, we're lacking space, lacking development sites, cramming them in. Like this, as you can see, it's stuck between 2 buildings, really wedged in there.
Yeah.
And the hourglass house, I imagine, is probably quite a similar sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the future of real estate?
Well, I think, if you got in cities where there's, very small, plots of available land, why not at the end of the day? I mean, if you look in terms of living size, you look at other cultures, whether it be in Japan or somewhere else, where they do have people like living in these type of narrow spaces. And, if somebody wants to, why not? But I can imagine with a lot of these kind of very unique narrow properties, that a lot of them are probably, I should imagine, like unique stay holiday lets, because that novelty factor. I expect most very narrow properties are probably on the holiday let market rather than lived in. But I don't see any reason at all. I think you get a property in a really amazing location, you get something that's different. I would live in that house for sure. It looks amazing.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you our second property.
Ooh.
Okay, and this is called Dick's House. Okay, hold on. Okay, here's the first clue before I bring it up. Yabba dabba doo!
What?
Yabba dabba doo! So, Jamie, what springs to mind from my yabba dabba doo?
Oh, man, what?
Yabba dabba doo!
It's that cartoon, isn't it?
Fred? Who, Wilma?
Oh, the Flintstones!
The Flintstones, a 1960s classic.
Ah.
So this house is in Malibu and it is based off the Flintstones house.
Oh, awesome.
Let me know what you think. This house is inspired by the Flintstones. It's in Malibu. And I think it was last valued at $3.5 million.
Wow, $3.5 million.
$3.5
I wasn't aware that Fred Flintstone was such a wealthy man.
No. Well, obviously, this is not catering to a solution, like Kurt's house. But in terms of a unique property, I think it's pretty high up there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Have a little scroll through those pictures, Jamie. Let me know your initial thoughts. I mean,
that's really awesome. It really does look like it's from the cartoon.
I think it's outside, and the garden is really good looking, and that view there through that window is ace.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's going to be a nightmare to hang a picture, isn't it?
But at the same time, that type of construction, I should imagine that, in the summertime where it's warm, it keeps it nice and cool.
Yeah.
And I imagine with the thick stone as well, in the wintertime, it keeps the heat in. So I actually think it's quite practical.
It's pretty much back to cave life, isn't it? But it's cool. I quite like it. But if you had 3.5 mil, is that the one for you? Or do you have to just be a mega Flintstones fan to want to...
I think the house is, stands by itself is cool. But if I was going to buy a house that was from any kind of like cartoon show, I would want to live in the Simpsons house. That is where I would want to live.
Do you know what? The Simpsons house, Homer had it made. Well, that's like a 4-bed house, a big garage, in a good town.
Yeah. Easy job, it doesn't really do much.
Easy job, yeah. Marge doesn't work,
Yeah, they must have a huge mortgage on that place.
I reckon they're mortgage free. They haven't mentioned a mortgage. So that's 2 unique properties. We'll bring you more of these each week if you like it. Please let us know in the comments and your thoughts on each one. If our slimmest house is the future of real estate, or should we all just live in cartoon-inspired properties?